The chandelier above the table trembled as laughter filled the room. My mother's voice cut through the noise, sharp and deliberate. "I'm so proud of my children," she said, lifting her wine glass. "All except the one who never quite lived up to anything." Every giggle around the table stabbed like glass. My siblings clinked their drinks. My father smirked. And me? I sat there, silent, steady, watching the flicker of Christmas lights dance over my reflection. They didn't know this would be their last dinner together as a family. Because by the time the candles burned out, every secret, every stolen dollar, every lie my mother ever told would destroy her. Christmas lights shimmered across the table, their golden glow bouncing off polished glass and hollow smiles. My mother sat ahead, queen of her perfect little kingdom, her wine glass raised high like a trophy. "I'm grateful for all my children," she announced, her tone rich with sugar and poison, "all except the one who never quite measured up." Laughter erupted, filling the room like static. My father smirked behind his glass. My siblings chuckled, grateful the spotlight wasn't on them. I sat quietly, my face calm, my heart steady. Years ago, her words would have cut me open. Now, they barely scratched the surface. I'd stopped bleeding for her long ago. The tree glittered beside me, its lights flickering in rhythm with my thoughts. Every bulb seemed to whisper the same thing. "Tonight, she'll learn what you became while she wasn't watching." My mother loved to humiliate people she claimed to love. It made her feel powerful, in control. She was the kind of woman who built her pride by crushing others beneath it. When my father cheated, she turned the pain into a performance. When my brother dropped out of college, she turned it into gossip. When my sister stole money from her, she turned it into a story about forgiveness and grace. And me? I was her favorite project, her permanent disappointment, her emotional punching bag dressed as a son. She used to tell people I was her miracle child, the one who almost didn't survive birth. She'd tell that story at every party, voice trembling just enough to sound sincere. I believed her for years. I believed every lie she told me, until the night I found the truth. It was early spring when it started. I was fixing her laptop for her accountant, Mr. Brewer. She'd forgotten her password again. When I logged in, her emails were already open. There they were, mortgage notices, credit statements, and loan approvals, all in my name. At first, I thought it was a mistake, maybe a system error. But as I scrolled further, I saw it, my signature, perfectly forged, $50,000. Gone. I remember confronting her that evening, standing in the doorway while she watched her reflection in the mirror. "You took out a loan in my name?" I asked. She turned, unbothered, her red lipstick untouched. "Oh, don't be so dramatic," she said. "It's just paperwork. I needed some money for the house, and you're not even using your credit anyway." "You forged my name," I said. She laughed, actually laughed. "Please, I gave you life. I can use your name." That was the moment something inside me stopped trying to love her. I didn't shout. I didn't threaten. I smiled, just like she always taught me. Then I started watching her carefully, like a hunter studying its prey. For months, I pretended nothing was wrong. I made her tea, fixed her broken heater, even helped her decorate for Christmas. She thought I had forgiven her. That was her first mistake. Behind the scenes, I began collecting evidence. Every bank transfer, every signature, every false statement. Brewer eventually confessed. She said it was family business, he told me, his voice shaking. I didn't know she'd done it before. I found out she'd forged my father's name once too, even my brother's. She was addicted to control, to bending family into her personal financial safety net. But this time, she picked the wrong victim. By December, her perfect life was hanging by a thread. Her accounts were under review. Her credit cards were being investigated. But she didn't know. She was too busy planning her favorite night of the year, Christmas dinner. She sent out formal invitations, gold trimmed with little snowflakes embossed on the corners. "No drama this year," she wrote. "Formal attire only." I smiled when I got mine. There would be no drama, just consequences. The night arrived like a scene from one of her magazines. The house smelled of pine and roasted meat. The table was lined with red velvet napkins, crystal plates, and candles that cost more than my monthly rent. She greeted me at the door, her perfume sweet and suffocating. "Try not to ruin Christmas again," she whispered in my ear. I smiled. "Wouldn't dream of it." All evening, I watched her bask in admiration. She bragged about my sister's new job, my brother's engagement, my father's latest business venture. When someone asked about me, she smiled politely. "He's still figuring things out," she said. The table laughed. I kept smiling, because while they were laughing, the clock was ticking. After dessert, she stood, glass raised high. "To family," she began. "To love, forgiveness, and the joy of being together, no matter how difficult some of us can be." The laughter returned, bubbling, cruel. My siblings joined in. Even my father chuckled. I stood up slowly, my chair scraping softly against the floor. The sound sliced through the noise. Every eye turned toward me. I walked it into the table, reached for her perfect 3-layer red velvet cake, and gently placed a small white envelope on top. "Merry Christmas, Mom," I said. She frowned. "What's this?" "Something special," I said. "You want to read it aloud." Then I turned and walked away. I was halfway down the driveway when the first scream echoed through the house. Inside that envelope was a copy of the court summons. Charges of fraud, identity theft, and tax evasion. Behind it, a confession from Brewer himself, dated and signed, detailing how she forged every document. Witnesses later said she read the first page out loud, stammering. This can't be right." Then she saw the signature, her own handwriting staring back at her, undeniable and final. Her hand went to her chest. The next moment, she fell forward, face first into her cake, red velvet and white frosting splattering across her dress. The perfect image of Christmas, ruined by truth. They called it a stress-induced collapse. She survived, but her empire didn't. Word spread quickly. Her social circle turned against her. The woman who once demanded admiration became a cautionary tale whispered behind closed doors. She hid for weeks, blinds drawn, afraid to face the world she once controlled. As for me, I packed my bags and left. I moved to a small apartment by the sea, where the air didn't smell of lies and the nights were finally quiet. I didn't attend her hearings. I didn't answer her calls. She'd taken everything from me, my credit, my peace, my self-worth. So I took what she valued most, her reputation. Every Christmas since then, I light one candle. Not for her, but for the person I used to be, the desperate child who thought love meant loyalty at any cost. I don't feel guilt anymore. I don't feel hate either. Just freedom, cold, clean, and absolute, because some debts aren't paid in money. They're paid in silence. And mine was long overdue.